Hey guys, in this video, I thought I'd do something a little different and give you kind of a behind the scenes look at my daily crypto trading and investing routine. Now, if we haven't met yet, or if you're new to the channel, my name's Dunn, and I've been actively trading and investing in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies since about 2013. I was trading the other traditional financial markets and was getting frustrated by the manipulation and how the markets were basically dominated by big hedge funds and high frequency algorithms. And so in 2015, I went on a speaking tour trying to convince all my Wall Street buddies that Bitcoin was the real deal. I even wrote this little book, How to Trade Bitcoin for Serious Profit, and I was one of the first guys on YouTube doing education content around Bitcoin. And it doesn't matter if you're brand new to trading and investing in Bitcoin or if you've been doing it for a while. I think you can get value from just kind of seeing my daily routine of how I stay engaged with the markets and how I find profitable opportunities. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first thing I do is grab a cup of coffee with, the Bitcoin smashing the Fed, obviously. And then I jump into the charts. So the first thing that I do when I pull up my charts and start to go through this routine is I first start by actually looking at the gainers and losers lists. And you can look at anything from Masari or CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. But the idea here is I just want to look at kind of what's happening in the markets overall, right? So you can see like today it's kind of a mixed bag. Nothing's up too much or down too much. It's kind of a flat day. And then I also like to look at what the stock market's doing and also commodities. So I'll take a look at like the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 just to see, because I know sometimes like when the markets and the stock market is panicking off, sometimes Bitcoin and metals will follow. Also take a look at gold and silver and see what's happening over here. And then sometimes I'll look at oil and some other commodities like lumber and natural gas. Yeah, really what I'm looking for is to get a grasp on the overall market sentiment in the markets. Is there a lot of fear? Is there euphoria? Is it kind of a flat, what we call like inside day? Are we in trending markets? Really just what's happening in general. And then the second thing I do is I drill down to my active positions, meaning, what are the things that I'm invested in or I have an active trade open. And so I'll drill down to the charts, and most of the time I'll actually have alerts set for important price areas that I'm looking at. And the first question that I ask is there any immediate action required? So what that means is whenever I look at a market, do I need to buy something, sell something, move any limit or stop orders, or is there no immediate action required? And then by doing this, what I'm doing is I'm eliminating a lot of the noise. Most people, they come in and they open like a really short-term chart, like a 5 or a 15 minute, and they go, oh my God, Bitcoin's going up or down. What I like to do is really zoom out and look at the big picture. The daily chart is really like my home base. And then sometimes I'll even zoom out to a weekly chart to look at the major areas. But again, the main goal when I first start the day is to look at my active positions, all of them. Sometimes it's only, 2 or 3. Sometimes it may be more than a dozen or so. And I just want to know, do I have to take any action right now? Or am I kind of in no man's land? And then I actually have a totally separate computer and internet network for actually executing trades. Here on my laptop or our main desktop over there, I don't really want to log into exchanges or plug in hardware devices. I have a completely separate operating system, computer, and internet connection for actually placing trades and getting in and out of positions. Now, for most people, that might be overkill, but that's just kind of what my system has evolved to over the past like 8 years or so. Now, after I've looked at the markets, gotten a handle on where things are, and figured out if I need to actually do anything on any of my positions, which by the way, out of like, say 10 days, on average, it's probably like 8 or 9 days out of 10 that I'm not doing anything. I'm not a scalper. I'm not in here like day trading in and out. I'm either swing trading the bigger moves, meaning I'm holding positions for, weeks or months on end. For example, like my last major trades in Bitcoin were down here as price was dumping. We were buying this dip, and then I added some through like the 7,000 to 8,000, and then have basically been managing these dip buys over the past couple of months. So again, I am more of a swing or position type trader, and I also have capital buckets for obviously like cold storage that I'm never going to touch and multi-year swings. But in general, on most days, I'm not actually having to place orders or do anything. And I think that's a big misconception where a lot of newer traders, they get in and they feel like they just have to start doing a whole lot of stuff. But, you know, if you guys have watched my videos for the past several years that I've been doing videos about Bitcoin, you know that my motto is trade less, profit more. You don't have to be in and out trying to catch every little move. So after I've figured out what's happening, after I've looked at my positions, then we jump into the news. And one thing I really am a fan of is using, you know, like a RSS feeder like feedly.com or something where I can just aggregate a whole bunch of different sources in one place. And this just helps me get kind of a fast grasp on what's happening, and I add different news sources. Also, I recently found this website, oncoins.org. This is kind of good. They give you like top news, they give you a bunch of news, and then like long reads and different opinions. So you could bookmark that. And by the way, guys, I'll link up all of my resources here in the show notes. But that's really the main thing is first, get a grasp on what's happening, then check my position, see if I have to actually do anything, and then look at the news and start reading and researching and going into that. Now, I think it's really important to also mention that I'm not sitting in front of my computer all day. And I recently went back and looked at a data set of trades, and it turns out that actually about half of my trades come when I'm doing something else. So this is why alerts are so important. So you can come into a program like TradingView and set alerts based on, you know, different areas that you're watching. And the next question that you would ask here is what would have to happen for me to take action? And this is where alerts really come in. So my style of trading and investing is rules-based, which means it's built mostly off of like if-then statements. Like if the market does this, then I'll do this, right? I try to remove as much of the subjectivity and guessing as possible. And so for me, that comes with alerts, right? That's very, very helpful because crypto trades 24/7. What I'll do a lot of times is say something like, okay, if Bitcoin breaks, you know, 10,900 or just say 11,000 right here, if it breaks this zone, I'm going to buy, right? Then what I'll do is I'll have alerts set up usually on TradingView and sometimes on a couple of different mobile apps. That way, if I'm out in the real world and I get alerted, I can pull up my phone and I make sure I have access to my exchanges. And again, usually I have a separate phone just for crypto trading that's not linked to any social media or anything like that. And that way I can quickly execute a trade if I need to. And so as the day progresses, sometimes I'll check Twitter a couple of times a day. I'll continue to occasionally check on Bitcoin's price. And I actually did another video talking about how to stop obsessing over Bitcoin's price. You know, if you find yourself constantly all day, every day, just looking at charts, I'll link up this video where you can kind of see how you can set up a system to stop obsessing. You know, that used to be something that I would do is like check the portfolio and check prices like 50 to 100 times a day. Guys, that's just not necessary unless you're trying to be a scalper, which really there's no reason to do that either. And then occasionally there will be new projects that come out. And what I like to do is try to keep my watch lists up to date. So you can see here I have, because I'm in the US, there's a pretty big difference between coins that are tradable in the US and those that are available internationally. So I'll look at a couple of different watch lists. This is my gainers, where really all I'm filtering for here is market cap and volume, where, you know, these can be projects that trade anywhere, but I just want to filter out micro caps and stuff that's really illiquid, because I really only like to trade stuff that is really liquid, meaning it trades at least, you know, $5 or $10 million a day worth of tokens. Because if it's illiquid and only trades on like one or two exchanges, the probability that it could be manipulated or, you know, there could just be funny games in a coin, I just want to stay away from that, you know, and I never want to be more than like 5% of the average daily volume. So if I'm trying to swing serious size on something, I really can't trade these micro caps or small cap coins. And so what I like to do is really every day just kind of sort by the gainer and look at the bigger losers, because what will happen is some days, you know, you'll have a coin that's on the gainers list. It's at like the top of all the lists. it's up, 200% or something crazy in a day. And then the very next day, it might be on the top of the losers list because it's down 50%, right? So if a coin is, on both sides of the gainer and losers list, that's not necessarily a good or a bad thing. Really what I'm filtering for here is I'm trying to find volatility. It could be a coin that recently got listed and is dumping off. It could be something that's freshly breaking out of a range. So really your watch lists and the gainers lists, they can be starting points where you can actually find opportunity and add it to kind of your short list of potential plays coming up in the future. So at any given time, maybe I'm in a half dozen positions that I'm actively invested or have a trade open on, and then maybe I have a watch list of a couple of dozen tokens that have potential setups. And then I'll share that with my community and really write out my thoughts of what I'm looking for and what trades I have open. But the idea is no matter if you are an active trader or just a hodler, or if you're somewhere in between, it's just really nice to have a daily routine that maybe it only takes a few minutes. This isn't something where I'm sitting in front of my computer for 5 or 10 hours a day. I come in every morning, I do, maybe 10 to 15 minutes of just kind of looking. On the occasional day where I actually have to do something, I hop on to one of my access points for actually placing trades, and then I go about my day. I focus on other productive activities other than obsessing about every little move in price. So I hope this is helpful. I know everybody kind of goes about this a little bit of a different way, so I want to kick it back to you and ask, what do you do on a regular basis? What do you include in your routine to stay engaged with the markets and find opportunity? So again, I hope this was helpful. If you know anybody that would get value from this, feel free to share it with them. Like it up if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll see you next time. Take care.